Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Biz Talk for TikTok podcast. I am really excited because today on the show, I have a guest who is defying everything you think of when it comes to TikTok. When people think, oh, it's all about teens and kids, and that's definitely not the case. And I have on the show today Old Man Steve, who's an 82-year-old TikTok creator from Dallas, Fort Worth. And, I'm really excited to talk to him and learn about his experience on TikTok and even how that even got started. So, Steve, welcome to the podcast.
Howdy. Glad
Howdy.
glad to be glad to be aboard.
Howdy. I'm really excited that you were able to jump on. And the funny thing is that you were on one of my my gosh, I can't even speak today. One of my LinkedIn lives, and I had two people on from a podcast that they were running called Too Old for TikTok Podcast, and I had them on, and you jumped on and said, uh, "No, you're not too old for TikTok. I'm on TikTok," and I had to reach out and get you on. So thank you so much for commenting that, or we wouldn't have had this opportunity to be able to have you on the show.
well, I guess it was the right time. I was at the right place at the right time because I had just signed on, and then there you were. So I had to jump in on it because I hear that all the time about people saying, "Well, you're too old," or how can you do what you do? You're at your age. So I do take every opportunity to let people know that age is not a factor.
I love that 100%. So, okay, there's probably a question a lot of people have that are looking from an outside perspective, and that is, how did you even get started on TikTok? What inspired you to download the app and make videos?
Well, I had been doing YouTube for a number of years, probably like 12 years now, 12, 13 years. And, uh, and as apps became available on our phones, I did Vine, which when it
That's
was
awesome.
around, and I enjoyed that a lot. I had fun with it, and I had a moderate following on Vine, and then Vine went away, and then there was some other ones that came along that I tried, but uh, then TikTok showed up, and my nephew said, Uncle Steve, you need to try TikTok. It would be a perfect fit for you, and it's a lot like Vine because he knew that I really enjoyed Vine, and I was kind of upset when it went away. So I tried TikTok, and I realized it was like all the other apps.
Mm-hmm.
It's young people. There's not a lot of people my age of
Right.
any, and so I could see that people were dancing and lip syncing, and mostly that's what they were doing, and that just wasn't something that I did. So I started doing my own thing, and started getting a following, and before I knew it, I my numbers started just going crazy. I couldn't believe how people were responding to what I did, which was not what anybody else was doing that I knew of.
Right.
So it was an adventure, and it was something that I guess paid off for me because I did start getting followings. Now I've got 1.7 million followers,
Yeah.
and uh, uh, which to this day blows my mind. And they're all mostly young people, and they want me to be their grandpa, or I remind them of their grandpa, or
Right.
you know, I get comments like that. So I have fun with it, and I have fun with my fans, and
That's
I try interacting with them as much as I can.
absolutely. I love that story, Steve. Thank you, for sharing that because, and I think it's so cool that you didn't just jump into this. You were doing all sorts of stuff, creating on YouTube, creating on Vine, which is really fun as well. And then, coming here, I'm grateful for your grandson. Is that right? Your grandson told you,
No,
you
my
know,
nephew, my
oh, sorry,
nephew.
your nephew, sorry.
Yeah.
Your nephew said, "Hey, you got to try TikTok now." And how fun is that? Now you have 1.7 million followers who look up to you as a grandpa figure on TikTok. And you know, people might have thought there's no way because your demographics not on there, or people might not find you exciting because you're just not going to be relatable to them, but clearly you are. And you know, it's proven that with 1.7 million followers. Now, was the success pretty quick on the platform, or did this take time?
It happened over a few months, as I remember it. It seemed like overnight. Like I did a video, and I was getting like maybe 50 or 100 views, and then all of a sudden I did one, and it like overnight it was like 25,000 views, and then it just kept going up, and I couldn't believe it. And my sister, who is my biggest supporter and who lives here nearby,
Hmm.
uh, I would call her up and I said, "Well, you're not going to believe." And that became like an everyday phone call. You're not going to believe, the numbers that I got, or uh, you know, it was like it became like almost a game. Is to see how high the numbers would go, and
Right.
and and trying to figure out what I did that made that happen.
Hmm.
And I have found that there's no formula. You you never know what's going to click, and you never know what's not going to click. I can do videos that I think are really kind of funny or cute, or you know, and nothing happens, and I do something that I think is stupid, and I wished I hadn't done it, or it really didn't amount to anything, and it'll just go off the charts as far as viewing. So you never know, and you never. And I tried to figure out, well, maybe if you post something in the morning rather than the afternoon is a
Hmm.
better time. You, there's just no way of knowing. It's a gamble, is what it is.
Right.
So, and I'm to the point now that I get kind of well, I don't get depressed, but it bothers me that if my numbers don't go up, that maybe I'm not doing something right, or I'm losing my followers. And then the next day, something will shoot up, and I'll get over 100,000 views on one video.
Right.
So
I know. It's a tough. It's very interesting, and I'm glad that you kind of brought that up because there's a lot of creators out there that are looking for this secret formula. And
there isn't one.
exactly, and that's the thing, is that everyone's constantly looking for how to break the algorithm to have guaranteed success, and there isn't. So it's really just showing up and trying different things out and being yourself. And I think the most important factor when creating content is to be authentic and have fun, because if you're not doing those two things, you're going to be constantly in a depression, because you're never going to like find that success. And the success really lies in just being yourself and having fun. And if you grow, that's just a cherry on top. And Steve, I'm really grateful that you know you were able to create these fun videos and inspire people and grow. And that was just a cherry topper. But I'm glad that you did bring up as well the kind of, you do get in a routine where you feel like you're letting your audience down if these views don't do well. And I think a lot of creators go through that. So it's very interesting to hear your perspective as, you know, an 82-year-old man that still has those feelings sometimes of feeling like, oh no, like, is my account not doing as well? You know, and there's a lot of young creators. So what gets you through those days though where you feel like you're maybe a little bit down with TikTok?
Well, I used to let it bother me more than it does now. and I finally realized there's just not really much you can do. Of course, I'm like anybody else. I have good days and bad days, and because of my age, I probably have more bad days than good days. But I try to do at least one video a day. Uh, because I want to hold on to my audience. I don't want them to forget me. And I
Mhm.
think if you don't produce, you're going to lose your audience no matter how popular you are. I think it's important that you produce. So I try to do at least one a day, and usually I do two or three, maybe even four, if I get inspired. And sometimes I get inspired. Just I'll be watching TV, and a thought pops into my head. I turn the TV off and I go do my TikTok. Then I go back and watch my program. So and I've even gotten up in the middle of the night once or twice when something comes to mind. I thought, well, that'll make a great TikTok, and I do it, and I have I have developed certain things that I do that I find my fans look forward to. I do a magic Saturday with Steve where I try to
Wow.
do a magic trick, but I can't do it. I mean, I mess it up, and I have no ability to be a magician. So my that's one of my popular things that I do that my fans ask me about all the time. So
Mhm.
can't wait for Saturday. My Magic Saturday with Steve, and then I started doing a cooking thing, but I don't cook. I just like made a bowl of cereal, and that was cooking with Steve. And as a result of that, I was on Rachel Ray's show twice.
No
Uh,
way.
uh, just by making a sandwich, and she got a big kick out of that, and so I do those things, but also like the cooking with Steve thing. I run out of stuff to do. I'm constantly trying to think of something new to do. Sometimes it's hard, but at my age and living by myself, TikTok has given me a purpose. It gives me something to do, something to get up for. Uh, and I think that's important. Seniors tend to live in conditions where they're alone and their family maybe forgets about them, or their friends have passed. And so it's like a hobby, I guess. If you have a hobby, then you stay busy. This is
Yeah.
I have TikTok. I stay busy, and it's brought me a little bit of 30 minutes. What is that? 15 seconds of fame. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was on Kelly Clarkson's show.
Wow.
Um, I got interviewed on CNN. Um, and I even got interviewed on Australian TV, which was a kick because we did it on Zoom, and
Right?
it was nighttime here, but it was the next morning in Australia. So
Yep.
I was on their morning show, and they made fun of my Texas accent, and I made fun of their Australian accent. So that was interesting. But I've had a lot of that happened, and it all happened pretty fast,
Mhm.
and it was a bit overwhelming. I mean, daily I was getting requests to do interviews or be on this show or that show, and so I'm enjoying the ride. I love it.
I love it because, I think a lot of people who, they get older and they start losing that kind of purpose in their life. Maybe they're retired and they don't have to work anymore. Now you have a drive, like something that drives you every single day. And I love that
Right,
you're inspired even in the night. You're like, think of a video and you wake up and you're like, I got to do this video now. And, and it's really easy too. Like making a TikTok sometimes can be as easy as just holding your camera in front of you and talking to somebody. And is that like what you find some of your inspiring things is just being able to just speak even and talk to your fans?
I do that. TikTok has a thing on there that I recently discovered. It may have been on there all the time, and I just found it. Where questions and answers. So now
Right.
they ask me questions, and I've started doing a series of videos where I answer their questions, and talk directly my fans. And I'm still doing YouTube. I still do videos on YouTube,
Awesome.
but of course that's a whole different thing. And I'm on Facebook, and I'm on Instagram, and um Twitter. So I'm very active on social media,
Hmm.
uh, in different venues that I that I work at. I mean,
Right.
it's like you have to work at it. It's not just a casual thing with me. It's almost like a job. But it
Yeah,
but, but it keeps me busy.
absolutely.
Keeps my mind active, and um,
Would would you say that using social media and being this active with it, you think keeps you young?
well, it keeps, yeah. So not my body, but my mind. Yes, I wish.
Yeah.
I mean, I get a lot of things I would love to be able to do that I just can't do anymore, and sometimes it even surprises me. So I have to be careful about a lot of physical things, and I even do some dancing on TikTok,
Love
but
it.
I'm not a dancer. I just kind of move around to the music, and then I speed the camera up, and it looks like I'm really going at it, but I'm but I'm not. And so I've had a lot of response from my dance videos.
That's awesome. And you do it all by yourself, right? Like you don't have anybody helping you make these videos. You know how to do all the features, you know how
No,
to do all the recording?
that's another thing. When you're by yourself, you have to be inventive
Mhm.
as far as your camera work or your whatever. I've got lighting equipment. I think I'm pretty much. I'm very conscious of making sure that my lighting and all my technical things are correct. Um, but it would be better if I had a partner or somebody
Right.
that could film me doing things. And since I don't have that, I have a lot of gadgets that sometimes I use in order to be able to video something that I do. Uh, but that's a challenge when you're by yourself, trying to create something that might be visually different from what you normally do, just sitting there looking at the camera. So
Absolutely.
I'm conscious of all that, and something I work at. I try to be inventive. And I do get people say, "How do you know all this stuff? How do you know how to do it?" Even my nephew says it. I said, "I don't know. I just do it. And if I'm not sure of something, I Google it, or I go on YouTube, because you can find anything on those two different. You know,
Yeah. No, it's
you
true.
get you. So you look it up, and you figure it out.
Exactly. I love that. Like you're able to just like age doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you can't just look something up and learn it still at any age. And I think
Oh yeah.
I think that there is a lot of people out there that feel like they can't do these things anymore, but you were like, "No way. I'm going to learn it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it." And and I love too how you say, you have to be inventive and I think another thing that you do really well as well is being fun with even your appearance and things like you have different hats that you wear
Yeah.
um on a daily basis. Do a lot of people know a lot of people know you for that as well, do they?
Well, that, yeah, it's become like a trademark, or
Hmm.
my hats, which would just, I don't know how that happened. People say, "Why did you start doing that?" I said, "I don't know. I had one hat and put it on. I liked the way it looked, and so I started wearing the hats, and then I started getting different color hats, and trying to coordinate my hat with my shirt,
Right.
and and now I get fans that send me hats, and so I probably have over 100 hats now.
That's
So
so cool.
I tell fans, please, no more hats. I don't need any more hats.
Have you ever thought of creating your own hat for like a merchandise or anything?
Well, yeah, my sister's was going to do all that for me, but I think she's more talk than action. So I don't, nothing's really come of it yet. She has a lot of great ideas, but she, of course, has her own life to live, and uh, yeah, I've talked about, and I do sell merchandise. I have T-shirts and all that kind of stuff through one of the online stores,
Hmm.
and but I yeah, there's a lot of I keep being told there's a lot of opportunities out there, and
Yeah.
I've taken advantage of a few of them. I One of my TikTok videos, I made a remark about my back hurting or something. You
Hmm.
know, I think I need to get a new mattress. Well, in a couple of weeks, I got an email from a mattress company,
That's
and they
awesome.
said they would send me a new mattress if I would do a TikTok unboxing of it.
Right.
And I said, well, sure.
Why not?
So I got a free mattress. So there's been a few perks from being from being getting
Yeah.
well known on TikTok, and now TikTok also has they pay people. They have a fund,
Hmm. The
I
creator
guess,
fund. Yeah.
creative fund. That's yeah, and I've gotten a little bit of money from that. But you have to have a lot of followers and a lot of views on your videos to really make, I guess, any money from that. I'm not up in that league, uh, uh, but I have managed to get a little bit of money each month from that, and that really helps somebody like me who's a senior and who lives on a fixed income.
Yeah.
So it's been lucrative for me in some respects, and but I don't do it for that reason. I do it because I like it and I enjoy it, and
Hmm.
those are just some extra
Perks.
perks that's come from it. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, because you've done some unboxing videos and agree the creator fund isn't the best source of income. A lot of people think that YouTube is much better when for payouts for creators, but the CPM rates for TikTok is super low, but it is an extra. It's exciting because there's still some sort of incentive to create videos and earn from it. But have you been able to do any more like brand deals or anything like that to monetize your efforts?
well, in the early days
Hmm.
my numbers were going up, I wasn't even at a million yet, I don't think, and I got a an email from Taco Bell. Somebody at Taco Bell just thought I was the funniest thing they ever seen, and they enjoyed my cooking with Steve, and they were wanted to fly me out to California to do a video in their test kitchen. Well, I didn't even know they had a test kitchen, and apparently they do, and it's a big deal. And they thought that would be funny to have me, and they would.
Hmm.
So they implied that as a result, maybe a commercial might come. I might get a commercial out of the deal. Well, then the coronavirus um, thing happened.
Yep.
So then people weren't flying anymore. People weren't traveling. People were being quarantined, and so that kind of that fell apart, and they've never contacted me again. But except well, they sent me some merchandise. I got a baseball cap and a T-shirt and
Taco
a
Bell.
coffee mug. uh, But and I the other thing that was supposed to happen that I really was disappointed about was Jenna Bush Hager, the president's daughter, who is co-host on the Today Show.
Hmm.
She had written a book, and she was going to come to Texas to promote her book because she's from Texas. Of course, the president lives here.
Yep.
President Bush lives in Dallas, and she was going to come to Dallas and do a book signing, and then she was going to come over to Fort Worth and spend the day with me and interview me and film it, and it was going to be on the Today Show.
Mm.
Well, that never happened because of the pandemic, and so her book tour got canceled, and she never came. So I was disappointed about that because I thought that would really be neat. I was very excited to even think that something like that would happen to me.
Right.
And I did get I did get interviewed by local television
Hmm.
where they came to my apartment and videoed me with a local host celebrity person. So that was fun. But
That no,
I've
that's
gotten
really
up. Yeah,
exciting.
I some of my fans they kept wanting me to send me stuff, and so my sister said I should get a PO box, which I did, and I've gotten some. Somebody sent me a box full of had 6 boxes of pasta in it, and 6 jars of pasta sauce, and I guess I think I need to eat or something. I don't know.
That's
I
hilarious.
I even got a package from Australia that had a bunch of their local snacks and things of names of that I never even heard of, you know. So I've gotten stuff like that, and Stouffer's. I have a fan at Stouffer's, and they keep sending me frozen dinners. So
For
I
some
don't guess I'll ever go hungry. You know?
for some reason your audience thinks you need to eat more.
I guess I don't know.
That's
So
that's funny. Are you hoping that there's going to be a lot more, which I think there is because you're continuing to do this, but are you hoping that there's going to be a lot more opportunities for fun things like this, or what kind of opportunities do you hope
well,
to achieve?
I got an email yesterday from the Steve Harvey show. They're
Awesome.
gonna. In fact, I have a meeting with them this afternoon after we get done with the podcast. We're going to do a Zoom interview with the producers about me being on the Steve Harvey show. So I'm still getting requests just when I think that well my 15 minutes of fame is over, then all of a
Right.
sudden something happens. So I I guess you know, and I still have my viewers on TikTok, and I'm still doing TikTok. So I guess as long as I keep doing that, and
Absolutely.
I'm out in the face of in the public, and I do self promotion. I'm always I find that that's something you have. I don't have a manager or a
Yep.
agent or whatever it is that you are supposed to have. I do it all myself. I do on Twitter on uh, NBC's SU Law and Order SUV. I
Yep.
tweeted once and I said, if you ever need a dead body for one of your shows, I can be a dead body because I'm old and I've had a lot of experience napping, so I can lay still for long periods of time. So I never heard from him though.
I really hope that somehow this podcast episode can get out to the right people to make that happen.
So
That's
I was
amazing.
telling him I could play a good dead body, but so I'm always doing stuff like that, and I feel like that's a way of getting my name out there, you know, to people that may not otherwise see it. And who knows, something, may happen from it.
Absolutely.
You never know.
I love that. And you know what? It's funny how there's sometimes negative um like connotation around being like self promotion, but at the end of the day there's nobody that is as passionate about what we're doing than ourselves. And I think that it's really important to be the biggest advocate for yourself, because nobody's going to do it like you can. And I think I love that you're able to do that for yourself and say, hey, like being out there and reaching out to people and making those things happen is really powerful. And if you didn't believe in yourself, you probably wouldn't be where you are now. And I think that's a huge lesson that we can all learn, is just really believing in ourselves and what we're doing, and having fun with it like you have been.
Right, and I've gone to, I've kicked around the idea of maybe trying to get an agent or a manager or something, but I can't. First of all, I don't have the money. I don't get it. I'm not getting it. I'm not. I'm not that big. I wouldn't mind having an entourage, or you know
Perfect.
what do they call it now? A squad? What is it?
Yeah.
You know, somebody
Yeah.
somebody to drive me around and somebody to go shopping for me and all that kind of. That'd be
Right.
kind of fun. I've even promoted myself to like Disney and
Hmm.
Netflix and Discovery Plus and all that. I've uh, written to them saying that they should do a show around me, around Old Man Steve. I said it would make a very fun, interesting show, the life and times of Old Man Steve. You
I
know,
love that, but nothing yet, huh?
oh no,
Mhm.
nothing yet.
I
But
say yet
there,
because you
I
never
would
know.
there's so much content out there that there's so many channels now that are looking for content.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, Somebody might see something that I did and say, "Hey, that would make a good sitcom or something." I don't know, maybe
Right.
not. You know, or I did do a documentary thing for this company in Canada, and um, I was part of a group talking about how, I mean, there was other people. It wasn't just me. About
Hmm.
how we're using video now because of the pandemic, how people have had to stay home and work at home, and how that has opened up the use of things like Zoom,
Hmm.
and that were not around like even 5 years ago,
Right.
and then how people are communicating via video,
Yep.
and besides entertainment like TikTok and that sort of thing, but just doing business. So I was part of that, and that was done like over a year ago. They sent a TV crew thing to my apartment and interviewed me and filmed me, asked me questions like you are,
That's awesome.
and and then it took them over a year to put it all together. There's um, I forgot the name of it, but anyway, I posted. It was on LinkedIn. I
Hmm.
don't know. You may have seen it, maybe not, but it's on one of my posts on LinkedIn, and it was very interesting. And I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't know where it's being shown, but it was fun to be part of. There was a
That's
lot of interesting people on there.
that's really cool. And I think there's a like some inspiration here from this is, you could be reaching out to a lot of people and hearing crickets in a way, but we can create our own awareness and fame by just showing up and being in front of the video. Because with certain things, like all these opportunities came because of your proactiveness and creating video and being in front of that camera. If you were just like a typical guy that had these stories and reaching out without that credibility, nobody would have reached out to you. But because you took the time and you're creating these videos for yourself, that's where people are really inspired by. And people that are listening right now, just creating that one video today could lead you to so many opportunities for the future. Like, look at TikTok, or just being in front of the camera has led to so many great things. And um,
Right.
are you do you think, like, and this is just an interesting question that I'd like to know, do you feel a lot of really interesting things happen to you later in your life than in your earlier days because of the social media presence?
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah. Um, I wouldn't. I wish that what's happening to me now had happened when I was, younger. uh, um, but I'm glad that it's happening now. But yeah, oh yeah, this social media has changed not just my life, but it's changed everyone's life. I mean, it's just we live in a different world now, and video is a big part of it. It's just uh, beyond anything I could have ever imagined when I was younger. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of changes. I can remember when we got our first TV, and it was like this big, and it
Yeah.
was black and white, and we were the only one on the block, and all the neighbors came over to look at it because they had never seen a TV before. So I can remember that. I've seen that go through change after change after change. Up to can remember when they said someday the TVs are going to be flat and you're going to be able to hang them on the wall like a picture. And I thought, nah, how can they do that?
Right.
You know, and and now that's all there is. I mean, uh, so
Yeah.
then and I remember the old Dick Tracy things where they had the watch and it was
Yeah,
had a
the camera.
screen and
Yes.
you had video on the watch, I think, and
Right.
and that's somebody. I thought, well, that'll never happen, and it has.
Yeah.
So I've gone through all of that, and
Right.
young people don't get it. They don't realize the changes that have happened just and
Exactly.
very recently too. I mean, it's been very rapid, and here we are now with we're talking via video, um, and you can talk to somebody. We could have somebody on from Australia or where you're in Canada. We could have
Hmm.
somebody from England, and we could
Right.
all just be chit chatting here and
Exactly.
live, and it's just a thing now. It's the norm. It's not unusual anymore. So, but I guess there are people that are still out there that it is unusual to them uh, because they haven't evolved with the technology like
Right.
most other people have. I
Yep.
mean, I take things for granted that maybe somebody else would think, "Oh my God, how can they do that?" Um, so I guess it just depends on who you are and where
Right.
you are.
Yeah. No,
Excuse
that's
me.
it's okay. No, that's true. Like, you have taken the time to learn and evolve with technology, because it moves quickly. And like you said, even in my time period, I'm still a young guy. And but even I can still remember the first phones, and they were very digital, meaning just the numbers and that's it.
Right.
And even like, and that's even in my time period. So it's crazy how fast things evolve. And you can be left behind fairly quickly if you don't, keep learning about these new things, which you have done. So I know firsthand that there's a lot of people in your demographic that have no idea. They would have no clue where to even start with picking up a phone and filming. So I give you a lot of credit to have done that. That is a huge success. And not saying like it's a like a big win. It's just you've took the time to learn and evolve, which is really cool. Though I really, it's fun. It's fun to learn and see. firsthand.
Right. I do think it's something that's kept me uh, active, my mind active. I don't
Hmm.
know without it if if I would be as active. I don't know. There's no way of knowing, but I just do it because I like it and I enjoy it. And you have to be a bit of a ham, and I'm a ham.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. You definitely have to have fun
But
with
I
it.
never wanted to be a inspired to be a performer. I mean, I just um, my grandfather was in show business. He was, and his name was the same as mine, Steve Austin, and he went by Barnyard Steve because he did animal impersonations.
That's fun.
And in the early days of Disney, he even went to California and was going to work for Disney to be do animal impersonations for his cartoons,
Oh,
but
wow.
it meant that he was going to have to leave Texas and his family, and he didn't want to do that. So he turned around, came back to Texas, and never went to work for him. And
Interesting.
but he had a like a local radio show, a kiddies show where he would do. Uh, and of course, there was no TV back then. When people
Right.
didn't, that was really high fun entertainment. Now it
Right.
sounds silly to think of somebody having a radio show where they do nothing but animal impersonation, but that's what he did, and he would travel around to schools and do performances and
Th-
like that, and he performed in various organizations, like the Lions Club and stuff like that.
mhm.
And so my mother once told me, she said, "Well, you're silly, just like your grandfather." She always thought he was silly,
Aw,
and so maybe I inherited his genes. I don't know.
there you go. It was in the
I,
blood to be
I,
entertaining and fun.
but I think about him when I do my TikToks and things. I think about my grandfather probably would really think this what I'm doing is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So he's on my shoulder.
Aw, bless. Yeah, he's looking down really proud of what you're doing right
Yeah.
now. That's really cool. I love that. I'd love to ask, just a quick question on, and it's more of a serious topic, but a lot of creators go through this, and that is, getting some trolls come through and make some hate comments. I'm sure you've had your experience and fair share of those. And what's your process of going through those? Do you ignore them? Do you move on? How do you deal with that?
I've, I guess, have been fortunate because I've had very little of that.
Awesome.
Um, I I tend to just ignore them if I get a nasty remark, or I will delete it. Um, I
Mhm.
don't I don't address it. Uh, I I don't know why people do that, but they do. And
Yep.
I, my content when I do everything that I do is G rated. I don't do like a lot of the young people, and I even talk about this. I don't use the F word, and I
Right.
don't think all of that's necessary. And why people do that is just like it's become a thing, and I just don't.
Yeah.
I'm not a prude. I mean, I've been around the block a few times, but I don't see why people have to talk that way or act that way. So I've been, I guess, been lucky because if I do get some comments, I just delete them and ignore them. I don't address it, and
I
it hasn't been a problem.
That's awesome. I think that is a good solution. And I tell a lot of creators, don't let it affect you and just remove it and move on, because those people out there just they're could be having a bad day, and don't let it affect you personally, because that's just a reflection on them. and I'm grateful to know that you're not getting a lot of hate, and that there's so much more positivity around your account, and that's how it should be. And I'm so grateful that those few that have done that do not affect you and have not created, like
Well,
disabled your creative ability. So
well, I don't talk about religion and I don't talk politics because then you get in trouble.
yeah,
Uh, so those are the two subjects I don't talk about, and I just try to be me, and I tell people if they don't like what I do, well, don't watch me.
right.
You
Simple as
know,
that.
change the channel.
I love that. Exactly. It's as simple as that. If you're not a fan of something, just move on. Why stick
Exactly.
around? That's fun. Is there any like advice that you'd give to creators regardless of their age, when coming to, using TikTok as a creator?
Oh gosh. Yeah, well, you have to do your own thing. I mean, you can copy people, but I don't think that's going to get you very far. And yeah, you try to be creative. If you don't say, "Well, I'm not a creative person," well, you sometimes will surprise yourself if you just give it a go and just do your just be yourself.
Yeah.
And if people don't like that, well, then they don't like it. There's not really much you can do. Trying to be something you're not is usually doesn't work.
Yep.
It
Absolutely.
just doesn't.
I agree. If you're just yourself, then you will create some sort of audience around just being you,
Yeah.
and then it's authentic, and those who follow you just love everything about what you do. And I think that no matter what we do, regardless if we think it's boring or not something that people will find entertaining, I believe that every single person, if you put yourself out there, you can build an audience around it. Somebody's going to love who you are. Somebody's going to be inspired by something you say. And, there is an audience for all of us out there. We just have to take that chance and put ourselves out there. But if you
Well,
can be you, yeah.
I'm a perfect example. I mean, who who would think I would be this big deal on TikTok at my age? So yeah, you'll find your audience, and sometimes it takes time,
Hmm.
but you can find them.
I love that, Steve. Is there, uh, what's the best way for people to find you and follow your channels?
Um, well, if you on TikTok, I'm at OM Steve, uh, and if you go, I'm on direct. I forgot the link. It's called direct.me or something.
Okay. Yep.
I forgot. I can't remember.
It's okay. No worries.
Anyway, it lists all of my. I'm on
All
most
your
everything.
socials.
Like on Facebook, I'm Old Man Steve 75. On Instagram, Old Man Steve 75. On Twitter, Old Man Steve 80. Um, and I'm Old Man Steve on TikTok, but you have to. It's OM Steve
Right.
is the link. So, and I have a website. It's www.oldmansteve.com.
Awesome. I made it very easy for the listeners, because once this, for the listeners listening, if you just go to the description notes of this podcast episode, you'll find all the links to follow Steve on all his social medias. I'll
Oh,
have that.
okay.
Yeah, I'll put all that there for everybody, so it makes it very, very simple, so people can listen and follow you on all those socials. And
Okay.
I really do inspire everybody and motivate everybody to go follow Steve over there, because it's fun, it's inspiring, and he'll just put a smile on your face, which a lot of us need, especially during times like now. So I really appreciate your time, and coming and talking to us and the audience today.
Well, it's
And
my pleasure. I enjoyed it.
It's been really fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of the opportunities come forward for you. And I really do hope that somebody from the shows hire you for a body. So I love that.
Coming to a channel near you soon.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you.